Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. Today I wanted to quickly talk about some of my goals for 2021, both reading wise and this specific channel wise. So I'm just gonna go ahead and jump straight into the goals. So the first kind of typical goal that most booktubers and book readers set for their year is how many books they're gonna read. I have kind of two goals, a more realistic one and then a softer aspirational goal. So my realistic goal that I set on Goodreads is 74 books. I think I read about 68 in this previous year, and I know for a fact that I could have definitely read more if I pushed myself a little bit harder. And I do want to read more, so I don't feel like it's a negative thing to kind of push myself a little bit to read more. But my soft aspirational goal that I set for myself is to read 100 books. I've never read more books than this last year, so 100 books would be a big accomplishment for me, but I'm not gonna hold myself accountable to it. I don't want to overpressure myself with such a big number right now, so I am setting 74. But if I reach 100, I'm definitely gonna be very happy. So the next goal that I set for myself is to read more nonfiction books and specifically design books. The first half of the shelf here that you see is actually my design books. I do buy and own quite a few design books, and I do refer to them as a reference material, but I never actually sit down and take notes and read through them. So my goal is to read more of the design books that I own, as well as more nonfiction in general. I am open to reading memoirs, self-help books, reference history, things like that. I also want to read books more about languages in general, and specifically the Russian language, the English language, just kind of training my brain a little bit. So yeah, that's kind of my general goal, to read more nonfiction and more design books specifically. So the next reading goal is to catch up / finish some of the series that I've started. I am pretty good at continuing and finishing series. Usually when I start a series, I just read through up until what's available, or if the whole series is out, I usually just read the entire series. I know a lot of people don't do that. Thankfully, I like just going through the entire series. I don't feel bad about not reading any other books. So I do have quite a few series that are fully finished, but I did start some before that I haven't continued on with, and those are the ones that I want to prioritize continuing with. This especially includes series that have new installments coming out in 2021. I definitely want to catch up and keep up to date with the series that are ongoing. I know, for example, the Last Magician series, the last book, the Serpent's Curse, I believe, is coming out in 2021, and also The Box in the Woods by Maureen, a new installment in the Truly Devious series, one of my favorite series of all time. That one is coming out, so I'm definitely interested in picking up those books and some of the other ones. Overall, the goal is just to catch up / finish reading some of the series that I already have started. So my next reading goal is more of a fun kind of community one, and that is to participate in more readathons and reading challenges. I looked back at my statistics for the last year, and I've noticed that the most books that I've read was during two readathons. The first one was during the Owls readathon hosted by G at Book Roast, who I mention in almost every video, but I'll leave her channel link down below. She doesn't host that specific readathon anymore, but I'm hoping that she's gonna create a new one for this year. Honestly, that would be such a gift. She is so talented and she does the most amazing readathons. They're so thought out. If she creates a new readathon, I'm gonna jump right on that bandwagon. And the second readathon that I also did quite well in was the Reading Rush, where I think I read 7 books in 7 days, so that definitely boosted my overall July reading. So I definitely see how readathons help me get motivated and also help me participate in the community, especially when there's some discussions and just people checking out each other's videos and leaving comments. I really like that, and I definitely want to be more active in the community. I am already making a conscious effort to leave comments more than just, leave likes on videos of the creators that I like. Definitely, if there are any cool reading challenges or readathons that are going to be happening, I'm definitely going to be participating in those, depending on how busy I am during a specific month. So the next goal is kind of very specific to me, and that is to finally, please, God, please, start reading a book in Spanish or German. I own quite a few books in Spanish, and I think I own 2 books in German. Well, 1 poetry collection and 1 actual book in German. For context, I've studied Spanish in high school, and after high school I haven't really kept up with it, but I did have a really good teacher, so I have a pretty decent basic A1 understanding of the language, and if I continue learning and continue expanding my vocabulary, I could definitely probably, conversate on a very basic level. And that's the goal, to just be able to read and without a translator understand the essence of something that I'm reading in Spanish. With German, I am fully self-taught. I've been using Duolingo for years, and I think I've kind of caught up to the same level in German as I was in Spanish. I definitely don't have enough skill to read fluently and to fully understand what I'm reading in Spanish or German, but I definitely want to at least try, at least to just go through 1 chapter and kind of try to see how my understanding is, what is coming up, kind of what patterns are coming up, and translate and learn new words, and maybe like just start making slow progress in those books. It's a very specific to me goal, but hopefully I will actually pick up one of the books in Spanish or German and start reading it this year. Okay, and the last reading goal before we move on to the channel goals is to read more books on my physical TBR. So I do have this beautiful physical shelf, but I actually have been reading mostly audiobooks and borrowing books from the library or through Scribd for the last 2 years. I moved away from reading physically almost entirely 2 years ago, when I discovered Libby. I think in that year, in 2019, out of 40 something books that I read, I think only 1, maybe 2 were physical books, and everything else was audiobooks. While there is nothing wrong with reading audiobooks, I'm kind of getting tired of it, and I definitely enjoy reading physical books more. I want to tab my books, I want to hold my books, and audiobooks, they're more entertainment without really pausing to think about what you're doing, at least to me, because I don't try to digest as much what I'm listening to compared to when I'm actually reading words on the page. And also because I do write and I do have the responsibility to kind of train myself in language, just because that's part of some of my freelance work that I do. I want to get better at actually writing, and when you physically read words on the page, if you see a new word, you're more likely to look it up because you see the spelling. At least for me, it's imprinted in my brain better. Audiobooks help with pronunciation, which is great, but at this point I am ready to kind of move back to the physical novel a little bit more. Okay, and now on to the channel goals that I have. So for this channel, one of the biggest goals is definitely to post more consistently. I do have university classes and other responsibilities, obviously, and I want to be more consistent in actually planning out content. Usually when I pre-film videos, they just sit and then they kind of expire and they become irrelevant. I discard about 50% of the videos that I actually film, which is a little bit crazy. I never thought when I started the channel that I would actually discard that many videos. While sometimes I definitely don't have the capacity to edit the whole video. For example, I'm pretty sure I filmed a bookshelf tour video like 3 times, and then I've bought new books and I've kind of rearranged my books and it became outdated, but it's such a long video to film and to edit. I just need to kind of rethink how my routine is gonna be and how I'm gonna incorporate working on this channel, because creating YouTube videos in general is a lot of work. There is a lot of time that goes into it, and I'm also a very slow person by nature. I just do everything very slowly. I don't know how people do like videos every day or like 2 or 3 times a week. I could never do it because it would quite literally take me 40 hours. I don't have that time. So I'm just going to try to post 1 video per week, and I'm not gonna hold myself too harshly to this standard for weeks when I have a lot of schoolwork, but the general guideline is to try to post 1 video a week. If I can do that for most weeks in the year, I will be happy. And the next channel goal for me is to actually incorporate more of my art into this channel. I was never planning to make this an art channel, but the type of work that I want to do will hopefully involve both books and art/illustration. So having those two things that I kind of want as a career be the key elements in my channel makes sense. I do want to see how I can combine these two passions and how I can push myself to kind of do more art that is relevant to the book community. I do want to make more fan art. I don't think I am at the point where I'm ready to do tutorials, but I definitely want to at least casually incorporate some character or setting drawings pertaining to a specific fandom that I'm talking about, for example, in videos. So we'll see how that goes. If you have any ideas, if you want to see me draw any specific characters from a fandom that you like, leave them down below. If I haven't read the book, I don't think I can do justice to the characters, but if it's something that I've read, then I will definitely be open to it. So the next goal is very much kind of on my end, and that is to create updated channel art and an intro clip for this channel. This is something that I wanted to do in December, but I ended up being so busy with all of the cleaning and prepping for the new year. You may have noticed I do have kind of channel art, but it has my old channel name on there. So I definitely need to update that, and I'm not sure if it's gonna look very different from what I have right now. Okay, and the very last goal for this channel that I have, which is probably the most exciting goal, but also the most ambitious, and that is to create a TBR game. You may or may not have seen other booktubers use TBR games to determine their TBRs. A lot of them are inspired by existing board games or just games in general. My goal really is to create my own game, and I'm not sure what it's gonna look like. It's kind of a far away goal. I did want to do it for this new year, but just because of all of the mess of prepping for the new year, didn't have the time. And now that my university is starting quite literally tomorrow, it already has by the time you're watching this video, I don't know how much time I'm gonna have to work on this concept, but if I do, hopefully I can make something exciting for you guys and kind of have more fun establishing my TBRs. I think we can do it. So we'll see if that happens. So yeah, those were all of the goals that I had for this coming reading year and for this booktube channel. Let me know down below if you have any reading goals for this year, especially if you have like a number, or if you prefer to not really give yourself kind of a challenge. I would really love to know what your system is. But yeah, I hope you're doing well, I hope you're staying safe, and I will see you in my next one. Bye!